What is up, YouTube, and welcome to episode 85 of the Chaos Daily. Let's get into it. So as you saw there, we started with a time lapse. Yeah, I just had to show off my work. You guys just love watching that stuff, I'm sure. I don't see any complaints in the comments ever, so you get time lapses. I kept it really short, really fast. It's really hard to see so that you guys can complain about it. And so let me know down below. But yeah, we're going to talk about morphing wings, compliant mechanisms. It's funny because we're talking about something that is supposed to be soft, but it's really hard. Like, it's difficult to do. So, like, it's really difficult. I'm learning a lot from this. Will I ever build a plane with, compliant mechanism wings or structures like that? Maybe sometime way down the future. It's compliant morphing wings are very difficult in the manufacturing side of things. That's why we don't see them on planes everywhere. Manufacturing them is very difficult. It's much easier to manufacture discrete parts and assemble them than it is to manufacture materials that have specific compliance to them. So yeah, it's not a matter of they're simpler, there's less parts and stuff like that. It's purely down to the manufacturing process and getting consistent compliance through the material, through every wing that you make, making every wing the same. It's not as easy as it sounds. But just from the design aspect of things, designing compliant mechanisms is not a feat anyone can take on. I mean, anybody can build a simple thing with bendy materials and just assemble it. You just make up a wing cord or foil. Most of the stuff that I'm seeing on YouTube is just a section of wing. It's not a whole wing. It's just a single section where they demonstrate how the compliant mechanism works. The issue is then if you then replicate that scale across the entire wing, that whole idea falls apart, because how then do you actuate evenly through the whole wing without dealing with the accumulative forces that are placed on the wing? Whatever force you need to apply to articulate the wing, that force is also imparted on the wing structure on the other end. So it's not a discrete mechanism like you see with these like test rigs that you see where the part of the wing or the wing section is mounted on a jig, that holds it, and then the thing that causes the articulation puts its forces through the jig. But in a real wing, those forces go back into the wing. So the rest of the wing structure is taking the accumulated force of all those articulation points all the way down the wing, and then how you drive that much force all the way through that whole system. It's very difficult to get into in a way that is easy to manufacture and makes sense to do. So yeah, some of the things that I've been learning are to do with the design aspect of it. I'm going off of this design. This is one that I've shown previously on the channel. It's a very simple one, leading edge camber morph. It's the simpler thing to deal with. And what I'm learning is that originally I was just going to make the wing surface as well as the struts to the internal articulation mechanism all as one part. And then I worked out that no, when you do that, you get weird bending in the skin of the outside top surface. So it works out that you need to have bearing articulations between each one of those struts so that you can get a consistent pull force through the wing top surface. The underside seems to just work fine. When you apply the force, it actually bends into the shape that you want naturally. So you only need that one articulation connection point at the very leading edge. And that's the issue I'm facing at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a redesign of those little tendrils that come off the inside of the skin on the top there, and make them just little eyelets, and I will then design individual little articulation things, which again, it comes back to then the design, manufacturing and assembly side. So to solve the problem of keeping the surface smooth, I have to now design a thing that is multiple parts. And this is only a small section of wing. You multiply that for the full length of the wing. When you go to assemble this, you're going to be threading these tiny little articulation struts with a wire all the way through the wing. And it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So we'll work on the design some more and see what else we can learn and discover, because some of the things that I can learn from this, I can apply to other ideas that I have. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. I will do another episode tomorrow on my findings with articulated sections and see how that works. But yeah, so we'll leave it there for today's episode. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe if you're not. And as always, I've been Chaos. And until next time, expect the unexpected. And I will see you guys later.
And a special thank you to all my patrons that help support the channel. If you would also like to support the channel, there's a link in the description.